Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Sunday, July 3, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Detroit Tigers vs Kansas City Royals. Our team pick is Tigers minus 1.5 runs, and here is why. The Royals have had a rough go of things so far this season, but that won't deter them when taking on the Tigers. Detroit is just ahead of them in the NL Central standings, but the Royals have improved their play of late and want nothing more than to catch them in the standing. With a 14-22 record away from home though, they'll have their work cut out, especially after being unable to win the series when these two met in Kansas City a few months ago. Kansas City is 4-6 in their last 10 games, and with a brutal stretch of games looming against the Astros and the Indians, they know how crucial it is to grab the win on Sunday and get some momentum going forward. Detroit will be happy to continue the weekend at home on Sunday, especially after playing their last 8 games on the road prior to welcoming the Royals to town. Whether at home or on the road, it has typically spelled nothing but trouble either way for this group. They have been slightly better at home though, winning 6 more games on the season, and with the Royals being the opponent, they'll much rather be taking on their divisional rival in their own friendly confines than in theirs. The Tigers are 5-5 in their last 10 games, even with many of those coming on the road, just showing how close they could be towards turning the corner. With a pair of difficult series looming for them as well, Detroit knows that they need to use Sunday to continue to move up the standings, not to allow Kansas City to draw closer. The Tigers seem to be trending up as the weekend closes out, and with Kansas City's continued struggles on the road of late, Detroit will be grabbing another win against their divisional rival to close out the weekend. It'll start with an offense that is slowly grooving into form for the Tigers, while the Royals see some injury woes themselves to some of their key faces in the lineup. Adding to that, Scooble's ability to keep lineups at bay for much of the season, he seems primed for a nice bounce back against what is likely the least threatening lineup that he's seen of late. Our total pick is under 7.5 runs. And here is why. These offenses rank among the worst in baseball, with the Royals 27th in runs per game and Detroit buried in dead last. Expecting both of these teams to swing the lumber is not a smart bet, especially considering each of their recent offensive forms. Scooble vs Singer isn't exactly Clash of the Titans, but both pitchers have posted respectable lines to this point, and they will each be able to navigate these weak opposing lineups with relative ease. These teams have squared off 5 times so far this season, and the under has gone 5-0 in those matchups. The under is also 3-0 in the Tigers' last 3. All indications are we will see another low-scoring affair on Sunday. Pittsburgh Pirates vs Milwaukee Brewers. Our team pick is Milwaukee Brewers minus 1.5 runs. And here is why. The Brewers bounced back from their loss in the first game of the series with a win in their last game. They will try to keep the momentum going with another win over the Pirates, which will give them their 2nd win in a row and 6th win in their last 7 games. Milwaukee is averaging 4.66 runs per game. Their .238 batting average is 22nd in the league. Their .316 on-base percentage is 16th, while their .416 slugging percentage is 8th. The Pirates had their 2-game winning streak snapped by the Brewers in their last game. They will try to bounce back from the loss with a win on Sunday, which will give them their 3rd win in their last 4 games. Pittsburgh is averaging 3.69 runs per game. Their .220 batting average is 28th in the league. Their .290 on-base percentage is also 28th, while their .370 slugging percentage is 27th. Brian Reynolds has been the big bat for the Pirates. He leads the team with a .256 batting average, 15 home runs, and 31 RBI. The Brewers have won 5 of their last 6 games and 6 of their last 7 road games. They have been on a roll offensively, scoring 31 runs in their last 3 games. Expect them to continue rolling offensively because Quintana has struggled on the mound for the Pirates, especially at home where he has given up 14 runs in his last 4 starts. He gave up 5 runs in his last 2 starts against the Brewers and will have a hard time slowing them down. The Pirates have lost 6 of their last 8 games, but they continue to play well offensively, scoring 18 runs in their last 3 games. Unfortunately for them, they will struggle offensively in this game because they don't hit the ball well against right-handers, and they're facing a starter that has done a good job on the mound in recent starts, giving up 4 runs in his last 3 starts. He gave up 6 runs in his last 3 starts against the Pirates and will keep their offense in check, so go with the Brewers to get the win. Our total pick is over 7.5 runs. And here is why. Quintana vs Woodruff is an intriguing matchup on paper that could go several different ways. Woodruff has been a disappointment so far with an ERA well north of 4, however there is reason to believe he can turn things around as he remains an elite strikeout pitcher. Quintana has been solid but far from untouchable to this point. Ultimately, the hot Brewer bats look poised for another breakout effort. They are averaging over 8 runs per game over this last 6 contests and will tee off on a Pittsburgh staff that ranks 27th in ERA. Expect a strong effort from Woodruff, but his past performances in 2022 leave open a distinct possibility for Pittsburgh runs in this one. The over is 8-0-1 in the Brewers' last 9 games and 4-0 in the Pirates' last 4. Play the trends here. Washington Nationals vs Miami Marlins. Our team pick is Washington for the win. And here is why. Miami has been below the .500 mark since May 5, but the season has not completely escaped the Marlins at this point. They went on a 5-game winning streak in the middle of June before losing 5 of their next 6 games. Miami has won 6 of its 10 games since then, including a 6-3 win in Friday's series opener. The Marlins are amid a 7-game road trip that will conclude on Monday. They are in 4th place in the National League East, trailing New York by 12 games. Miami is still in the NL wild card race, sitting 6 games back of the final playoff spot. Washington has gone on multiple lengthy losing streaks this season, including an 8-game skid in the middle of June. The Nationals responded with 6 wins in their following 8 games before losing consecutive contests heading into Saturday's outing. They lost an 8-7 decision in the finale of their 3-game series against Pittsburgh on Wednesday and then added a 6-3 loss to Miami on Friday. Washington is on a 7-game homestand that concludes with this series. The Nationals are bringing up the rear in the NL East, trailing the Mets by 20 games. Their NL wild card hopes are not much better as they are 14 games back of the final playoff spot. Washington has value at home on Sunday based on the form of both starting pitchers. Lopez was one of the top starters in baseball over the first 2 months of the season, but he really struggled in June. He allowed 5 runs to St. Louis his last time out, and he is facing a Washington lineup that is among the best in the majors. Meanwhile, Fed's form has been improving greatly of late, allowing 3 or fewer runs in 4 straight starts. Miami is dealing with several key injuries to its lineup, creating even more value on the Nationals. The Marlins are just 4-8 in their last 12 road games. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs. And here is why. Looking at the pitching from the last 15 days, they are both doing well as the Marlins are 10th in the sport with 3.77 ERA in their previous 14 games, while the Nationals are 6th in baseball with a 3.32 ERA in their last 12 games. In that same stretch, the power offensively also has not been great as Miami is tied for 18th with 13 team homers, while Washington has only hit 8 home runs in those games. Toronto Blue Jays vs Tampa Bay Rays. Our team pick is Toronto Blue Jays for the win. And here is why. The Rays will have Shane Baz on the hill for the 5th time of the season on Sunday. Baz was stellar in his previous start, limiting the Brewers to 1 run in 5.2 innings, leading to a no decision in a game the Rays ended up losing. The talented right-hander struggled in his season debut but has been outstanding since and features a 3.38 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP along with an 0-1 record in 18.2 innings on the season. He conceded 2 runs in 5 innings in his lone career meeting against the Blue Jays last season. The Blue Jays will give Ross Stripling the nod for the 19th time of the year. Stripling was solid in his latest outing, limiting the Red Sox to only 2 runs on 5 hits in 5 innings and finished with a no decision in a game the Jays won by a 6-5 score. The veteran right-hander is enjoying a dominant month on the hill where he features a 1.59 ERA and his season ERA has improved to 3.12 along with a 1.08 WHIP and a 4.2 record in 57.2 innings pitched. Stripling is 0-2 with a respectable 3.80 ERA and 23.2 career innings against the Rays. The Rays are sliding recently, dropping 4 out of their last 6 games. The Rays' offense broke out on Saturday, but overall haven't been scoring with any consistency, plating 4 or fewer runs in 7 out of their last 10 games. The Blue Jays are difficult to beat at home where they are 8 games above the .500 mark. Furthermore, Blue Jays starter Ross Stripling has quietly been the Jays' best starter recently. The veteran is sporting a minuscule 1.59 ERA in his last 6 outings, and the Jays have won 5 out of his last 6 starts. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs. New York Mets vs Texas Rangers. Our team pick is Rangers for the win. And here is why. While the Angels and Mariners may be disappointed in their current standing as they battle for second place, the Rangers have to be pleased with their performance so far in the 2022 campaign. The Rangers made some improvements in the offseason, but the team was coming off a 60-win season and was hoping for some modest improvement. Improved they have as they approach July in second place in the division. On Friday night, the Rangers dropped their second straight game and the series opener, 4-3. The Rangers lineup struck out 14 times in the loss. On Saturday, the Rangers knotted the series at 1 game apiece after Martin Perez notched yet another quality start in throwing 6.2 innings and allowing 7 hits and 3 runs in a 7-3 Rangers win. Cole Calhoun supplied the power with 2 home runs and 4 RBI in the win. The Mets came into this series on a bit of a downward spiral, losing 3 straight games heading into Friday night's action. The Mets have endured a series of injuries, particularly to their pitching staff, that has slowed down the team's red-hot start at the beginning of the season. On Friday night, the Mets' string of bad luck continued with the new, prior to game time, that starter Chris Bassett would be unable to make his start due to COVID-19 complications. Lefty David Peterson was moved up a day and threw 6 crucial innings for the Mets, including a career-high 10 strikeouts in the 4-3 win. On Saturday, the Mets turned to spot starter Trevor Williams to give them quality innings, but he was not up to the task. Williams lasted just 3.2 innings, allowing 5 hits and 5 runs, including 3 of the Rangers' 4 home runs on the day. John Gray has been sneaky good for the Rangers for well over a month, and the team has won each of his last 4 starts, and 5 out of 7. Gray is tied for the best whip on the team and has the best K9 ratio on the team. On the contrary, Carrasco is in the midst of his worst stretch of the season as he has started to show the wear and tear associated with extended use. He has already thrown more innings than he has in any of the past 3 seasons and watched his ERA rise each month this season. The Mets have lost 3 out of his last 4 starts, and he has lasted just 6.2 innings combined in his last 2 starts. Look for the Rangers lineup to take advantage of a pitcher that may need a rest soon if the Mets want him to be effective in the second half of the season. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs. And here is why. Texas has been awful on offense this season. They are bottom 10 or hovering around the bottom 10 in the league in hits, RBIs, batting average, OBP, and OPS. Cole Calhoun is 2/14 with 6 strikeouts, Marcus Semien is 1/14 with 6 strikeouts, Mitch Garver is 1/14 with 10 strikeouts, and Brad Miller is 3/13 with 3 strikeouts against Carrasco. Carrasco has been much better at home than on the road. In 8 games started at home, he has a 5-1 record with a 3.88 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, and opposing batters are hitting .254 against Carrasco. Texas will struggle to score on Carrasco, and the under will hit.